Doom is a series I was never really into, but whether you play Doom or not, you already know who Doom Guy is. One of the strongest characters in all of gaming, being able to kill demons in one fell swoop, has multiple weapons at his disposal, and a former marine who became part god in a nutshell. But before we begin, I'd like to mention that it would do me some good for you to like the video, comment on it, subscribe, so let's just rip and tear into it. What made someone like me who was never into FPS games fall in love with Doom 2016? I've always heard of the series. I knew about Doom Eternal when it came out, the killer soundtrack from Mick Gordon, both 2016 and Eternal. I always had it in the back of my mind. Eventually, after I bought it, I started to play it, and holy shit, this game is something else. So I'll be playing on Hermie plenty for this playthrough. I know, I'm a pussy for not playing on Nightmare mode, shame on me. I may have pissed off some diehard Doom fans or whatever, but I'm here to have fun, not have my blood pressure go through the roof here. So we are playing as a Doom Slayer, or just Doom Guy. Both of these names I'll use interchangeably. From the moment you wake up as Doom Guy, you are able to start shooting people. We have a man named Dr. Samuel Hayden in the comms here, or should I say robot because he's actually dead, but he was able to live on through putting parts of his brain to the robot according to the in-game codex you can refer to. Aside from that, we're thrusted into action, finding a shotgun, and that's all you really need in the early game. While yes, there are a variety of weapons in this game, you'll be using the shotgun for most of the game, and not to say the other weapons are useless, not at all. You'll be running and gunning oftentimes. But here's where Doom 2016 stands out even today. There's no auto healing like in your standard FPS game. Staying still and trying to hide does nothing as you'll get killed instantly, so you are forced to face your fears and just shred every enemy in your sight. So Doom Slayer is the definition of it's on sight. The gameplay is addicting as the satisfaction is met every time you kill a demon, whether by shooting them down or through these glory kills, which were new at the time when Doom 2016 came out. It's these mini spectacles who you can see when the enemy flashes orange and blue. Simply pressing the right stick does the job, and you have to weaken the enemy before you can pull it off. You'd want to do these so you can recover HP quickly, and I prefer to do it to the smaller medium enemies because the animation isn't as long. Glory kills are a great addition here. There are multiple animations for each enemy as well, and it depends on where you target them. They can range from above, right in front of them, behind them, and the legs for a sweep kill. Some of these glory kills are so brutal, I yell out holy shit sometimes because of how gruesome some of these kills are. For me personally, it never gets old because I'm not worried about the animation itself. My thought process is who is next to die, and that's what makes killing demons fun. Even killing the larger demons like Hackle Demons, Mancubus, or even the Pinkies, there's no time to think as you just do what you need to do without thinking about it. The campaign is relatively short, taking me 12 hours to complete it for the first time, and that's without finding all the secrets, which is strange to me in a game where you're constantly picking fights against demons. There's cool little collectibles throughout the levels. These are usually little bits of information you can read on the game's codex here, whether it's on a human character, demons, a specific kind of weapon, and some on the environment themselves. While I personally didn't take the time to explore everything, I did run into some collectibles along the way. While the campaign is nothing to write home about, it is a serviceable story. It's pretty much you are awakened to fight demons since the UAC, a research facility in Mars, opened up the portal to hell to harness their energy. As you'd expect, it didn't go all too well. Dr. Samuel Hayden had been researching this substance called Argent Energy, but another scientist, Dr. Olivia Pierce, was corrupted, so hell broke loose, pun not intended. It's our mission as the Doom Slayers to stop the invasion and kill every last demon. It's a fine story, just don't expect a brilliant story going into the game. But in a game like Doom 2016, the story isn't the main focus at all. It's clearly the gameplay, so let's move on towards that. The gameplay of Doom 2016 is insanely good. Movement is smooth, graphics look stellar, sound design is amazing. The soundtrack, oh, don't get me started. Composed by the legend Mick Gordon, Doom 2016 has incredible tracks from BFG Division, Rip and Tear, and Damnation. These three tracks are what you'll mainly hear in your arena fights throughout the campaign. The gameplay at its core is an FPS, but with the addition of moving while shooting, it seems strange at first, but makes sense when you play it. Like I said earlier, staying still is an automatic death since demons are constantly moving around and closing in on you. If you simply stay still, you'll get shot at, munched on, or torn apart in some cases. On top of that, Doom Guy is fast as all hell, pun not intended. The movement, like I said, is smooth. You can jump and eventually double jump once you unlock the upgrade. As for the fights themselves, this game does not hold back in throwing everything at you. When I was playing this game for the first time, some of these fights were so intense I had to put down my controller for a few minutes just to get some breathing room. In the early game, all you have is a pistol, shotgun, assault rifle to work with, and you unlock more weapons as you progress. The shotgun is your go-to weapon, so you can one-shot these little guys no problem. I did have a bit of trouble aiming with this since I'm trying to get used to having a higher sensitivity on my controller. Aiming wasn't too much of an issue, as the more I played the game, the more aiming became second nature, since this game requires your attention at all times when you're in arena fights. The shotgun can one-shot many of the little enemies, and they can still do good damage to the larger enemies like the Hell Knight or Revenants, for example. There are upgrades for you to claim through these field drones as well. You either are given these or must go out of your way to look for these. Some of them are quite useful, like the plasma gun having a shock blast stunning any demons within the blast area. The precision bolt of the Gauss cannon allows you to zoom and launch a concentrated shot, making larger enemies to kill like the Mancubus. There are also upgrades for set modifications, as well as making the mods a little stronger. With the Gauss cannon making you move faster when you're charging your shot and reducing the charge shot time as well, these upgrades, while they seem minor at first, they are a huge game changer in the later levels. The early levels on a brand new playthrough are a bit difficult. You don't have every weapon from the jump, so no super shotgun, no rocket launcher, and no movement upgrades like the double jump. All you have is a shotgun, pistol, chainsaw, and assault rifle. The shotgun is your best friend here. It one-shots most enemies in your path, and you can pick up upgrades when it reloads faster and can launch a area blast similar to a grenade. I do like that early on, at least in the difficulty I'm playing in, you don't fight the bulky enemies just yet. You do fight them as you progress later, but for now all you're fighting is these little alien imps. They are a bit fast and shoot fireballs at you. They sometimes hang on walls, run away from you, and even attack you physically. They're not all too bad on their own, but I will say it's annoying dealing with these little guys in big arena fights when you're focused on bigger enemies or are fighting large hordes. They may well be out of your line of sight, and they can still throw fireballs at a long range. It'll disturb your flow, especially on the higher difficulties, where they can potentially end up killing you in your blind spot. They're present all throughout the game, but are quite good for one specific thing: chainsaw fodder. In Doom 2016, you don't reload like normal. There is no reload animation. You sit through, you get that ammo, and that new ammo is already loaded up into your shotgun or whatever weapon you're using. As for the chainsaw, it is a weapon primarily used to get more ammo. Now there are limits to it, of course, as the bigger the enemy, the more fuel it takes up. The purpose of the chainsaw fuel is to reload, so when you use it on smaller enemies, you still get the same value of ammo. This is awesome. It's a neat animation on top of a brilliant way to keep the action going. The enemies themselves can be a bit bulky. Some of them require more than just a few shotgun rounds to the head, but that encourages you to switch weapons when needed, as bigger enemies like cackle demons, mancubuses, and enemies of that sort are a bit tricky to fight up close. They both have long range and short range attacks. You can either kill them long range with the Gauss cannon or short range with the shotgun. That still doesn't change that there are many enemies that spawn in the area, making you think on the fly. If you hesitate in key moments, you will die. I personally play passive aggressive, since some enemies deal more damage when you're up close to them. I either use the rocket launcher or the Gauss cannon, but when it comes to smaller or medium sized enemies, I rock the shotgun. It has variety, and you switch weapons to the weapon wheel, which does slow down the game for you to get your bearings without worrying too much about what's around you. The weapons you have are the pistol, shotgun, super shotgun, assault rifle, chain gun, plasma gun, rocket launcher, and Gauss cannon. This is your primary weapon wheel that you can switch weapons by either pressing RB immediately to switch to your secondary or primary weapon. If you hold RB, you have your weapon wheel where you can switch to any weapon you'd like to use. Pressing the X button switches to the chainsaw, and the Y button lets you use the BFG, or should I say big gun, according to the in-game name. I will say my only complaint about the weapon wheel is that holding RB, I wish you could access the weapon wheel a little faster. While it is just holding RB for 1 second, that 1 second could be costly at times. I would like it to be faster to open the weapon wheel screen. I understand that tapping RB switches to your secondary primary weapon, but this is just a minor complaint I have here, and isn't too much of a major complaint. Each weapon has its own purpose here, except for the pistol, because that is very last resort. The shotguns are used for up close combat. The rocket launcher can be used for AoE attacks, killing multiple enemies. The assault rifle can be used to take down smaller enemies at a larger distance. The plasma rifle is similar to the assault rifle, but it's energy balls of plasma you're shooting rather than bullets. It's not all too useful unless you're using the shock blast modification, which paralyzes enemies within that blast. That's really the only usefulness it has, and to be honest, I rarely use the AR or plasma gun much, especially in bigger fights. The chain gun is a machine gun suited for medium to close range combat. It fires bullets at a wildly fast rate. It's solid against larger enemies, but like the shotgun, it's not good long range. And that's where the Gauss cannon comes in. I've talked a little bit about this weapon. mentioned earlier in the video. Not only is it good for taking out big enemies, but can also be used as a get off me type of gun. If you have plenty of demons around you, shooting the cannon in midair knocks you back, and you can use this to your advantage to create some space between you and the enemy. The combat can get a bit overwhelming, so this is a nice use of the cannon. The chainsaw is, I mentioned before, useful for grabbing ammo quickly, and you take out a small enemy to get the most value out of this weapon. The grenade is decent, but I honestly don't use it as much as I should. So with the weapons out of the way, let's talk about the campaign itself. The campaign can be played on multiple difficulties, those being I'm Too Young to Die, Hurt Me Plenty, Ultraviolence, Nightmare, and Ultra Nightmare. I played on Hurt Me Plenty so I can speed through the game so I can quickly get the footage for this video. I've dabbled a bit in Ultraviolence and it's a pretty fun time and a nice change of pace. Nightmare is the hardest difficulty and Ultra Nightmare is Nightmare, but if you die, you have to restart the whole campaign. The main differences states that the enemies on higher difficulties, demons inflict more damage per hit, are more aggressive, and the player recovers fewer resources from pickups and glory kills. There are some minor stat changes for the player as well. I'd probably like to play Nightmare off camera or maybe even stream it at some point, but regardless, I picked Hurt Me Plenty for this video. The first level starts with you waking up from a slumber, and you're thrown into the action. All you're given is a pistol to work with. There are a couple enemies surrounding you, but they're nothing, so let's keep moving. You speak to a robot named Dr. Samuel Hayden, and he briefs you on what is happening. He wants to form an alliance with you, and in response, you check the monitor to the wall.
In a way that benefits us both.
Anyway, the game teaches you the basics, like how to perform a glory kill. A few minutes later, you pick up the shotgun and your first battle starts. At first, the room is empty, but destroying this gore nest will trigger the fight. Since the only enemy you fight in this room is imps, it's not a problem. However, the imps will sometimes run away from you, and since all you have is a shotgun and pistol, it is a bit annoying killing these guys. On top of that, they're shooting fireballs from all sorts of directions. It's still easy since this is a tutorial mission. The next cutscene is a transition to the title card, Doom 2016. The second level, you are outside of the facility. In Mars, there's a new enemy introduced. You may find healing kits scattered throughout the level, but in arena fights, they can be limited depending on the difficulty you're playing on. You can use the explosive barrels to your advantage by killing enemies in a larger range. It's faster and more importantly high risk, high reward, using these explosive barrels as they can blow up in your face literally. A new enemy is introduced that is slightly more bulky than the imps. You can still kill them easy, not a problem fortunately. You exit the area and go to the research facility and progress to the next stage. The third level is a fairly large level, even for the linear level design, which is not a bad thing. If you deviate from the normal path from time to time, you may find a neat little collectible, some codex logs, secrets, and sometimes you may be rewarded quite handsomely. It is in this level where you find the chainsaw here, and since you have low ammo for now, this is quite useful. The fights in here are a bit more intense, making for some fun action. This specific arena I had some trouble in because there's a gap between the two platforms, so it's not as easy to shoot down the imps or possessed soldiers here. It's still a fun level as there are more fights here. This level also has a large area where you must clear 4 fights in order to progress, as you can't go to every room. Some rooms are locked behind key cards that can be found through dead employees in the facility. This part of the level is quite nice. I like the constant fights, although the Hell Knight may be a bit challenging at times since it's first introduced here. This is one of the better levels in the campaign so far. And you pick up the assault rifle, which is a nice weapon to use early on here. The next level here is a lot of fun, now introducing new enemies being the Revenant and Hell Knight. These two enemies you see all the time from this point forward. The Hell Knight is a big brute kind of enemy. I mentioned it briefly just now. Up close, it'll punch you and attempt to beat you to death. If you try running away from it, it'll jump to you and try to Hulk smash you, pause, but facing the demon will do the trick. Shooting in the head is best, as it may stun the enemy briefly, letting you get one more round of shotgun ammo to its face. The best way to kill it is up close, but as it strikes you, distance yourself, then run in to get a shot. Do that a few more times and you got the Hell Knight down. The Revenant can launch missiles at you and punch you up close. You basically have to shoot it down, and I did not know this, but landing a glory kill from behind will have the Revenant hover briefly and blow up, making it for some potential crowd control, which is quite interesting. You destroy a few Argent energy cells and Samuel Hayden gets pissed off that you are doing so, but it doesn't matter, I'm the Doom guy. And the fights are quite good in this level. As per usual, you kill everything, and here comes easily an enemy I hate the most, the Summoner. This here I hate. So when introduced, it's seen spawning enemies. Well, of course it's in the name, so it's a priority to kill it, right? Well, you, the summoner says, I will make you spend a century attempting to kill me. And since your weapons are limited, killing this thing for the first time, it's almost like a mini boss. This enemy is a bit bulky as well, making it a large enemy in my opinion. Finding it itself sucks. It sends a straight line towards you, so it's best to sidestep and get a quick shot in. Sometimes I'm able to land a shot to this demon until it runs away or repositions itself in order to attack you again. In short, I hate this enemy with a burning passion. It's not fun to fight, takes forever to kill, and it's pretty fast as well. Also in this level there are some challenges called runes. These are optional but can provide a good upgrade. Some of these challenges are quite nice. One notable challenge I found interesting was being forced to stay still, which is against what the game goes for, and I found it to be an interesting idea. Or killing a certain number of enemies using explosive objects, a platforming challenge, or only killing Hell Knights with an assault rifle while you must get the glory kills from above as well. These rune challenges are alright. I personally didn't have too much trouble with them. They provide some good upgrades like more ammo drops from the chainsaw, being able to glory kill from a larger distance, so on. You also got the Argent cells, which are upgrades directly to your health, armor, or ammo. I prioritize ammo first because you run out of ammo relatively fast in this game. It's also reducing the need to use the chainsaw, which is quite helpful. Armor is the least important to me because mostly armor isn't as readily available compared to health or ammo. You can upgrade your suit as well with Praetor tokens, which can be found through these robots that are red. These upgrades are minor but do help out in the long run. This specific one is a game changer with enabling you to swap weapons much faster than before. Another example is the power-up effects that are in the game. These power-ups range from quad damage, haste, invincibility, and berserk mode, which lets you one-shot demons with your fist. The Praetor suit upgrades make the power-ups more meaningful as they can fully recover your health, extend your power-up duration, and have an explosion once the power timer is expired. Weapon upgrade points also net you weapon mod upgrades too. These are fantastic as they make each weapon more versatile as each upgrade is unlocked. So that was a quick briefing on the upgrades, and let's speed things up with the campaign. The 5th level is the energy tower. You ran into Olivia Pierce a little while ago, and your goal is to chase her down to prevent the opening of the hell portal. It's a large tower you climb, which requires some platforming along the way. Now, I'm not against platforming, but it is a bit strange to have it here. Not that it's difficult or anything like that, it just feels weird or awkward to do. There's multiple big fights as you progress the tower. You also get this plasma gun, and you run into Olivia Pierce, where you're in another fight to kill all demons before the portal is opened. Since this is essentially a scripted fight, you still end up in hell in the next stage. The 6th level is honestly one of my favorites. The first time I was playing this, I was like, oh shit, I'm in hell. This level allows you to get the Gauss Cannon. Why do they have it lying around? I'm not sure, but it's still a great weapon regardless. This level introduces some new enemies like the Cyber Mancubus, which is this bulky enemy that is best killed with a Gauss Cannon. You also run into a Cackle Demon, this brain-shaped thing. It honestly terrifies me. Its design is terrifying, looks intimidating when I try to kill it immediately so I don't get scared of it. This level is pretty long, having multiple big fights, some backtracking you must do. Another new enemy, the Baron of Hell. This one is also spooky for me. It's bulky, it does a lot of damage, has a cool death animation. Generally speaking, this is probably one of the best levels in the game. It's the first level in Hell, so you see all kinds of demons around you. New ones enter their hat in the ring. You get a new weapon, and this one specific fight near the end of the level beats my ass at times. There's multiple enemies coming at you, notably 2 Barons of Hell, multiple Mancubuses, and on top of that the imps shooting fireballs. While you fight bulky enemies, least to say this fight was intense, but still fun regardless. Even now I had to put my controller down just for a bit because of how intense that fight was. The level ends with a access point back to Mars. Since we've reached the second half of the game, the levels do pick up in intensity. I'll try to speed things up here. The 7th level is the Destroyed Facility. Now that the portal to hell has been opened, there are demons everywhere, making this facility a bit hellish, pun intended. Another new enemy joins, the Pinky. Strange name, but don't let that fool you. These things will run you over if not careful. They have armor in their front side area, so it's best to evade it, go around it, then hit it from the back. This makes it a lot easier with just 1 or 2 super shotgun rounds. There is another version of the Pinky later called the Spectre, which is an invisible variant of the Pinky. It works similar, just hit it from the back. These two are a bit troublesome for me since in the heat of combat they are far away from you, and sure you can hear them, but you're likely focused on something else. Suddenly, boom, you get sent to the Shadow Realm by one of these. Any the level you collect a keycard in order to ride the train to the next level. The 8th level is the Advanced Research Complex. You run into Samuel Hayden here in person, and holy sh*, put him on an NBA roster. The fight before getting to him was intense, as there were many bulky demons coming in from all spots in this arena. I think this specific fight is one of the more difficult ones throughout the game, as it's in multiple floors, indoors, and the imps can be well hidden. When in Samuel Hayden's office, he is tall, just look at him. There is no definitive height for the Doomslayer, but it is widely considered that he is at least 6 foot. As for Samuel Hayden, he is about 10 foot in height or 3 meters tall. Regardless, he briefs us on what to do next. He installed a tethering system onto the Doomslayer suit to pull him out of hell whenever the situation calls for it. He informs about this heavily guarded item, the Helix Stone. This will guide us on what to do once we go back in hell. There's some ammo and healing items you can pick up during the meeting, so there is some downtime here. This is the only moment where you're truly 100% safe here, which I find neat since the whole game you're thinking any area could lead into a fight. Later in the level there is a room guarding something nice, but you can't just break in. You take a key card and entering the room you see her. She looks divine, I tell you, but not yet. You must shoot down the laser. The big fucking gun is back, and no, what loser calls it the bow fusion gun. The final fight did beat my ass a little bit. It's multiple floors, indoors and all. The Cackle demons are much more difficult to deal with in enclosed spaces, and more importantly, they scare me. I keep repeating about how intense the fights are, but when you play this game, you'll feel the intensity, trust me. The next level is more of the same with the Lazarus slabs. Now that you've picked up the BFG, I should talk about it. The BFG is a strong ass gun, as it can one-shot many enemies at once, but it is limited with only having 3 rounds of ammo. You can find more ammo in the levels sometimes as well. The BFG is primarily used to kill enemies quickly for you are in a tight spot and need to get some breathing room. It does feel like cheating, but at the same time there's nothing wrong with using it often. It's quite useful for killing big enemies instantly and dealing damage to boss fights. Sometimes the BFG won't one-shot the large enemies, more so weakening them to be killed with a shotgun round or 2, which is great. It also staggers boss fights too, and we'll get to that later. As for the level itself, we find the Helix Zone and enter another big fight. After that, we are on the hunt for the Crucible, this key of hell that can seal the portal. That is what Olivia Pierce was looking for so desperately. We go through some more fights, killing everything in our path, and head into this room where Doomguy got thrown by this enemy, the Cyber Demon. Getting into the fight, I melted its health bar now that I have the BFG and make quick work with it. All is well until we end up in hell. Suddenly this cyber demon is revived, so you fight it again. This time it has this wall ability that closes you in and it does the same attack temporarily. Again, you can use a BFG to get some good damage in, no problem. It's a fun boss all in all. I really had fun with it, to be honest. The next 2 missions are literally hell. Even so, I think these 2 missions are the best in the game. The arenas are nice and open. The intensity is just right. There's some good exploration to be had here in both levels. The reason I talk about these 2 missions at the same time is because they're kind of blended together, so it'll be faster that way. But I'm primarily going to be talking about mission 11 because it has some great fights, and more importantly, it houses this boss fight, the Hell Guard. There's 2 phases to this fight: a singular Hell Guard, which has some homing fireballs, a spinning firewheel attack, some melee attacks, and this force field that doesn't let you kill it immediately, so you must be patient with it. As long as you fight it from a long distance, it's not too difficult. The next phase is finding 2 of them, and now there's some new attacks that this big ball of energy it charges up. You can prevent it from happening by shooting the energy ball. It stuns them briefly and you can gun it down freely. It drops heals and ammo, which is quite nice as you'll more than likely run out of ammo during this fight. The BFG is also quite helpful in this fight as it can stun both enemies, enabling massive damage. After the fight is over, you rip apart this worm thing and get the Hell Crucible. You are then pulled out of hell through the tethering system which Samuel Hayden had installed on you to pull you out of hell. So, Doomguy is back in Mars, and the next objective is to take down Vega's holy shit, I didn't bring up Vega at any point in this video. He's an AI companion that tagged along with you throughout the game, and so in other words, Jarvis. Vega tells us that the only way to get back in hell to finish the mission is to destroy the core that is done by breaking these coolers scattered throughout the mission. I honestly don't like this level, it's way too short and it felt rushed. It's just a few large fights in 3 large rooms and that's the mission. A bit underwhelming, but I thought there would have been like a boss battle, like a Vega boss or something like that. But the end of the mission is just pulling out the rest of Vega's parts and destroying the core. But before Doomguy does that, he backs up Vega in this flash drive. But there's no time to react as we enter hell one last time. We end up in the heart of hell now, and once you enter the fight, just kill everything and progress onto these Wraith Souls as the game calls it. These fights are really damn good. I have to say, the open space, the power-ups, the BFG availability, the satisfaction of going from enemy to enemy easily on top of that. Anyway, you do the same thing 2 more times, then you enter this pit in the arena of the final battle. The Spider Mastermind, which come to find out is they call back to the final boss in the 1993 Doom, which is cool. As for the boss itself, It's fine. Aside from the callback to the original Doom boss, the fight itself is a bit underwhelming if I'm honest here. Once you do clear the game, you are tethered back to Mars in Samuel Hayden's lab, as he takes the crucible from you and then walks away while you're sent away somewhere, and that's the end of the campaign. Overall, Doom 2016 is a great time, all things said and done. There's intense fights, wild adrenaline rushes, cool collectibles to be found, the music being phenomenal, and even today, Doom 2016 is still one of the best games ever made, and was genre defining once again, bringing back that classic Doom action onto the modern landscape. It holds up considerably well by today's standards, and I'm really excited to play Doom Eternal when I buy it soon, but I think I'm going to end the video here, as I've said what I wanted to say. So, thank you for watching, be sure to like the video, hit the subscribe button, comment on the video your thoughts on Doom 2016, and most importantly, as always, enjoy yourselves and have a good one.